join the lake, kayaking, pontoon boating, drinking wine.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Sailor Jerry, all that kind of stuff. And that's how I roll. So
RJ, loving the decor.
4th of July spectacular is what Brian said.
Have a good night, guys.
CAH.
That's when he said 4th of July spectacular on the chat. I was like, oh man, 4th of July spectacular. Let's do it.
Because America.
Time out. So you have one of the baseball banners, whatever you call it, then an American flag over that, and the IWGP US title.
Yeah.
That's
Would you expect anything less?
I originally had the bunting goes all the way across, and I originally had the belt covered, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? It's the United States Championship.
That is gangster. That is gangster. Salute that flag, man. Salute that flag.
Oh, gee, that's. You still with us over there?
Yeah, my tripod.
Oh, geez. Maybe it's the bunting. Maybe.
So yeah, I am seriously all right. So we all usually have something on TV, something going on TV while we're doing this.
I don't. I devote my complete attention to you two. I have the TV off.
I had to have some background noise. Currently, my background noise is the Ultimate Warrior on Monday Nitro.
Huh.
I'm watching that episode.
You actually just reminded me that the U.S. men's national team's Gold Cup game starts in 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So I have to put that on the computer.
Nice. Who are they playing?
Jamaica. It's a semifinal. It's a semifinal. We're playing Jamaica, and the winner plays Mexico. Mexico hasn't won their game yet, but they will.
Oh, yeah. Mexico. Yeah. Mexico's looking good, too, man.
It was always good. We can beat Mexico. I can't stand Mexico. The soccer team, not the country. I'm not racist.
Right. Then again, we haven't looked too bad in the Gold Cup either.
Yeah, the second half of the quarterfinal game was a little sketchy, but we still won. So.
Yeah, kind of like the semifinal of the World Cup with the women versus England.
Yeah.
That freaking penalty PK opportunity, that foul they called was bullshit.
My favorite thing about that actually is that when she saved it, they all started celebrating, and she kind of pushed them away, and she was like, no, this game's not over yet. Stop celebrating.
Wow, about to have Kurt Hennig versus Dean Malenko. Yeah. Hey, Brian. So since you guys can both hear me, here's what I was thinking for show. Let's talk about SmackDown, because obviously the talk has been that Raw was probably the best Raw we've had in about 2 or 3 years.
I can dovetail that with my take on, because I watched a little bit of what you posted earlier last week's show. I know you talked Heyman and Bischoff, but remember I told you I have my reactions to that. Yeah.
You got a hot take. Cool. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about Fyter Fest, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about except maybe a certain chair shot.
Yeah. Me and Brian were talking about that while we were waiting for you.
Yeah, so I figure we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Raw. We don't have homework this week. We didn't do it.
Right. The teacher wasn't here, so there was no homework. I think that is hilarious.
Yeah.
I have some what ifs.
Yeah, okay.
So I can pony up on that discussion too.
was just about to throw that out, and then we'll roll into this week's discussion. RJ, you're on the hook for homework.
Okay.
And he just looks up like, oh shit.
Apparently, we're going to have a soccer match for homework.
For homework tonight, we must all watch the movie Shaolin Soccer, which is actually pretty good.
And if you can't think of anything right off the bat, I mean, you can just have it kind of germinating in the back of your head during the.
Yeah.
I don't know what all you guys have done. That's part of the.
See, Brett Owen, WrestleMania 10. Sean Razor, WrestleMania 10.
Jesus.
Hey, Brian, have we done Hogan Rock from 18?
No.
Do you want to do Hogan Rock from 18?
That's Cody's favorite match. What New Japan have you done?
Literally the New Japan you gave us.
Okay, well then I have one.
Okay. Literally the only New Japan we have done was the 2 out of 3 from Dominion last year.
Okay, I have one then. We're good.
Okay. Awesome. So, hey, RJ, is there any chance you can, once you sit down.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
When you sit down, can you slide a little bit to your, like you and the chair only, slide a little bit to your left?
So, that way.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Because you were not fully in frame. So, and I've been recording for the last 7.5 minutes. So, I mean, we're ready to go whenever you guys want. So we'll do Brian's what ifs. We'll discuss those, and then we'll go into tonight. We'll have homework assigned after that, and then after homework assignment, we will roll right into this week's Bar Talk best entrance themes.
That sounds like a plan.
I've got some good ones. Obviously RJ probably knows where I'm going first because he's going the exact same place first.
Right.
A certain grandson of a plumber.
Absolutely. Who is not androgynous.
Right. And does not, and when he's normally speaking, does not speak with a Southern accent.
Right.
Yeah, and whose wife is ridiculously hot. That's a different story for a different time.
Some dumbass on Twitter called her Dollar Tree Stephanie McMahon.
Oh God. Okay. Well.
What?
And then later in the day, she took a Q&A, and somebody asked her, if you could be any kind of tree, what kind of tree would you be? And she said, a Dollar Tree.
Nice.
Oh my God.
She's a smart woman.
Oh, she's brilliant. She has a master's degree.
Right. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's a Michigan State grad.
You might be right.
Huh?
You might be right. I'm not 100% sure.
She's a Michigan girl, though, right?
I believe so. Yeah. I know she has a master's in broadcast journalism.
Right. So, all right. Well, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Sweet.
Nice. 3, 2. Wait, let me do it right so I can actually see it. Welcome back. I don't know the rest of it, but we got our own little welcome back Cotter right here. It is the return of our our teacher, our professor, our Mr. Holland, what was the teacher from Dangerous Minds? Luann Johnson? Yeah, Luann Johnson. It's our Luann Johnson. We choose to die. Yes. Welcome to the We Choose to Die episode of Wrestling with Egos. Right here on the glorious world of YouTube and Anchor Podcasts. However you're watching this, whether it be on any of those, intergalactic television, or from the glare off of some dude's bald head, we thank you for watching us. And most importantly, happy 4th of July weekend. But to our Canadian fans, we were a little late on this. Happy Canada Day. Canadian national anthem, one of my two favorite national anthems in the entire world.
I agree. Except for when the Bruins are playing a Canadian team, and then I don't like it.
Right. Yeah, same with me in the pen, same with Brian and the Sabres. But yeah, Canadian national anthem, just the music itself, the tune, not because I don't like being an American, because the Star Spangled Banner is not my favorite. I'm sorry, my favorite national anthem ever, the Soviet. It just sounds cool. It sounds awesome. Listen to it. It sounds cool. Welcome to Wrestling with Egos.
The earliest has ever been off the rails ever in the Egos history.
40 seconds. It's a new record. Show the graphic. Ding, 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 ding. Welcome to Wrestling with Egos. I'm Patrick, joined as always by the AEW poster boy RJ and our returning intellectual hero, our teacher, the person who educates us all, Professor Brian. Gentlemen, welcome back. Brian, we missed you. We hope your vacation was wonderful. We hope you caught plenty of fish, didn't catch a cold, and most importantly, didn't catch syphilis. Because the lovebird would be mad as hell at you about that.
Happy to report no syphilis was caught. The vacation was just what the doctor ordered. It was a great time to just kind of disconnect from everything and be with family and recharge the batteries, as it were.
So which doctor was it? Was it Dr. Pepper, Dr. Love, Dr. Tom Pritchard, or Dr. Shelby?
It wasn't Dr. Shelby. That's, yeah. But no, it was a great time up there. I recommend Traverse City to anybody who's looking for a place to go, because it's off the beaten path. It's not quite so touristy, but I know you guys were talking about a lot of stuff last week, and I'm anxious to kind of put my stamp on that conversation as well, and talk about some of the things that have happened in the week since, some changes on the horizon for the shows that we watch, and another sterling AEW event that was put on. So let's dive right in.
And we will get into all that, but first and foremost, we got to plug the socials, because without the socials, this show dies a slow and painful death, much like we theorized Raw and WWE and WCW dying last week. You can always hit us up on Twitter. You can hit me up at Rant Mode On. You can hit Brian up at BCrigo15 and RJ at RJ Eman with 2 N's. You can always hit us up on the good old email right at the very top of the screen, wrestlingwithegos@gmail.com, and then the good old archival Google site, as I like to call it. Sorry, Brian, you missed that one, because this is a lean, mean wrestle talking machine. There, we're even. It is bit.ly/withegos. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this wonderful, wonderful program. At the end, when you see the credits in the lower third of the screen, you will see an Audibly Offensive Radio logo right in the middle, little circular logo. Click it, subscribe, done, boom. Click.
Couldn't be easier.
Let's talk AEW to begin with. Let's go ahead and talk about one of the two big newsworthy things over the last 7 days. And damn if that wasn't a good show. That Moxley brawl was something else. I I have gone on record with both of you guys in private conversations. I've always thought Dean Ambrose, and I'll call him Dean Ambrose for this. I always thought Dean Ambrose was one of the most overrated guys in WWE. I thought as WWE champion, he was about as boring as Damian Sandow when he was the teacher. It did not work for me. Now that I'm watching this, what in the bloody hell was I missing? Holy crap. It's a completely different guy. And I am just fervently, there's your big word for you, Brian, fervently invested in all of this. I love it. Something else that impressed me. One, Jungle Boy is for real.
Yep.
Kid's good. Little known, and obviously we know this, but for some of you other wrestling fans, his dad was Luke Perry. So that's pretty awesome. But love Jungle Boy, and RJ, you freaking called it. Darby Allin.
Darby fucking Allin. Sorry. The kid is unbelievable.
I'm a fan. I was like, oh my God. That was probably my favorite match of the entire night, was Cody and Darby. And again, you called it. You said last week, which got posted on Wednesday, which is the exact same day we're recording the show. This is what happens when you're working two jobs, boys. Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, at least I got it posted before showtime. And no, Brian, it wasn't like 2 minutes before showtime.
I know, I saw it earlier today.
Yeah, but I was really impressed by him. And RJ, you called it, because you said that match would probably steal the show, and damn it if it did not. That, dude, just the action and all anybody, and with that match, all anybody can talk about, we'll talk about two things, and one of them we'll get to in a little bit, and we'll close the AEW segment out with that. But that plancha that he did, the
coffin drop.
The coffin drop, and he missed and went spine first right on the apron, because you know it's the hardest part of the ring.
Somewhere before.
Oh, that hit! I was like, oh my God, that had to suck.
Oh my gosh, when he hit, and I knew when he went up and he turned his back, I knew what he was going to do, and I thought Cody was going to move, and it was I saw it before it happened, and when he hit, there is just the thud sound. Oh my God.
The hard thud, not the hollow thud like you would hear in the middle of the ring.
Absolutely. Thanks be to Jesus that Darby Allin's spine is okay, because oh my gosh, he landed right on the middle of his back too. Like it.
Yeah.
He didn't land exactly the way that he was probably planning on landing, because it looked a little more dangerous than it needed to be. But
yeah,
that spot was.
If I had a couple of critiques about the whole show from top to bottom, I think they were, notwithstanding the part that we're going to talk about in a little bit, I think there were some unnecessary risks taken for the sake of taking said risk.
Well, when the show's free and you want to get eyes on it, you do things that get people talking. And Tony Khan was pretty clear after the show in his interview that what you're seeing right now is not exactly what you're going to be seeing on a week-to-week basis when they get on TNT. A lot of it is everything right now is a pay-per-view. So they're treating everything right now as if it's a pay-per-view. So on a week-to-week basis, you're not going to see the coffin drop to the apron, and you're not going to see the thing we're going to talk about in a little bit. And you know, they're trying to go as high and as hard and as fast as they can go right out of the gate to get eyes on the product, and I respect the hell out of that.
I get that, and I totally do, and I think it actually worked. But I still think some of those risks were too unnecessary. I'm all for raising the bar and going, yo, assholes, all assholes in Connecticut, top that. But there's raising the bar and then there's being stupid about it. And I thought some of the things they did on Saturday night were stupid. Not like stupid doesn't make sense, like Perry Saturn wearing a dress or shit like that. I'm sorry, pardon the language. I'm trying to be good about that. But, the coffin drop and the thing we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. Brian, you had a point.
We were actually, before we got you into the video recording of this, you were working your technical difficulties out or whatever. RJ and I were talking about all of the decisions that AEW has made so far and how we were scratching our heads aside from what we'll talk about in a minute. There really haven't been a lot of mistakes made. It seems like everything has been, going according to plan. I mean, as much as it can go according to plan, because like RJ just said, we're trying to get eyes on the product. This is what we're all about. We want you to buy into it. We want you to be a consumer of our product, and we want you to give us a try. I'm curious to see, Patrick, obviously you think that maybe that some of those mistakes were made at Fyter Fest just for the sake of a pop or the sake of oh my God or whatever.
Yeah, I thought the two things that stood out to me, I thought, aside from the biggest, most egregious thing, two things that stood out to me. Number one was that coffin drop, because I was like, dude, second show, sorry to sound a little risque here and a little crass, but don't blow your wad 5 minutes into it, man.
Right.
That's kind of where I was. My other one was the match with the Lucha Bros and I can't remember the other guy and the Bucks. Yeah. There were too many spots where you could see it coming and they were blatantly setting it up. Like that one where they looked like they were going for the Meltzer driver on the outside. And I was like, dude, if you're going to
where they were telegraphing it instead of just making it fluid and making it, a little bit more artistic or whatever.
Not just telegraphing it, because something like that, you kind of sort of do need to telegraph because it's such an intricate and potentially dangerous move. But if it comes off, it looks cooler than hell. But I think it wasn't telegraphed. It was snail mail. It was just like, here it comes. All right, we're still waiting. All right, now we're gonna try the springboard. But now one of the Jacksons, whichever one it was, is gonna hold on to the other guy. Wait 30 seconds. Here comes the Laredo Kid. And it was just like, it was too slow of a setup. It became very predictable. And for some kind of move like that, that can't be that blatantly predictable. It's kind of like, when they're, you know what it was for me? Here's my comparison. It's when WWE does their little bit where the ring explodes because Braun Strowman superplexed Big Show, or Big Show and Mark Henry, Big Show and Brock Lesnar. It's going to happen.
Right.
You're like, okay, cool. It happened. To me, that's what that attempted Meltzer driver on the outside ended up being. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go on. Let's build the momentum back up, because right now I think we just kind of peed our pants.
A lot of when the original Elite, because Kenny and the Bucks were the whole of the group that was originally called the Elite. When they get together, a lot of what they do is kind of telegraphed. And it seemed to be more so at Fyter Fest because it's been a while. I feel like it's because it's been a while since they all, as a group, worked the 6-man match together, and they're trying to get their stuff in that people know them for when they work together. And also, Laredo Kid was really, really awesome, and he's gonna be a star, and he's definitely a name that everybody should remember. But I feel like his timing was off multiple times.
Agreed.
I think that was a lot of it.
Agreed. Before we get into it, anything anybody else wants to add? Because once we get into it, I don't want to backtrack. I want to give this our full attention because I think it deserves it.
Private Party.
Hell yes.
Private Party. That was out. Darby Allin, Private Party, Jungle Boy, and MJF got made on Saturday. Those are the four. I feel like Private Party. They remind me so much of the Bucks, which is saying a hell of a lot in the ring. Like, Private Party is really good. I didn't know a whole lot about them before they did the vignette on them on Road to Fyter Fest on the Nightmare Family page, but I learned a lot about them watching that, and then I had gone back and watched a bunch of like wrestling clips from them from House of Glory, and they seemed like they were really awesome. And even then, they blew me away on Saturday. I think that they became absolute immediate shoot 'em to the moon stars from Saturday.
I agree.
And then Darby Allin, MJF, and Jungle Boy.
Brian.
Here's all you need to know about MJF. I freely admit that I have not had a chance to watch anything he's done yet because I have not had a chance between getting back from vacation and working and, watching my niece and nephew today and all that stuff to even watch Fyter Fest yet. But I've seen clips of some of the things that MJF has been saying and the reactions he's been garnering. When 45 seconds worth of clips is all it takes for me to realize what a heat magnet we have on our hands here. Because some of the things he says, it's like, oh dear, he said what? He went there? Yeah. The one quote, I used to like video games too, and then I lost my virginity. I mean, talk about, sticking the knife in and turning it, clockwise 180 degrees. It's that, but that's what you have to do to be willing to get over as a heel, in this business, because we all know the tropes about insult the city and insult the babyface and all that kind of stuff. But to go after the target demographic like that of a lot of your paying customers.
Yep.
Almost all of them, because it was at a video game convention. I mean, it was perfect.
That's next level.
I feel sorry for the guy that they cut to immediately after that, though.
Oh yeah, how do you follow that? Here's who MJF reminds me of. And I'm sorry, RJ, you're going to hate me for saying this, but up until last week, up until Fyter Fest, I always thought MJF was like a Dollar Tree, to kind of use something we talked about in our pre-show meeting, a Dollar Tree Miz. And I was like, okay. Watching it, I'm like, okay, you still got some cleaning up to do in the ring, but your mic work is like next
There's
level.
nobody touches.
I mean, there's no, he's like what, 23, 24?
Yeah,
he's
23.
There are no verbal pauses, no ahs, there's nothing like that. Everything he says with a purpose.
Absolutely.
I'm like, this isn't Dollar Tree Miz. This is the next generation of that same kind of heel. But you know who he reminds me of? A more PG version of ECW Dudley Boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I kind of, when you said PG version, I thought you were going to go Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yep. Bubba Ray Dudley in ECW, more specifically Heatwave 98.
Yeah, right.
In Dayton, Ohio, where they almost caused a freaking riot.
One one thing that should be mentioned about MJF that is one of my favorite things about him, and he would call me a dumbass for saying this and tell me that it's not that he is who he is all the time, which is kind of my point. He's always on. He's never off. At meet and greets, he's on. On Twitter, he's on. He's always on. He's always on. He never turns the heel off. I mean, I would imagine he probably does when he closes his bedroom door at night. The heel might come off, but when he wakes up, he puts it right back on before he walks out that door because that dude is always on, and I respect the hell out of that because in order to get a heel persona like that over in 2019, you have to be a dick all the time.
Exactly. And here's my thing, because you see it a lot now, especially in heels in NXT, Adam Cole specifically. It has been caught on camera many times over that Adam Cole, the person, Austin Jenkins, I think is his real name, he is legitimately a damn good dude.
Right.
But he's made his mark as a heel to where when he crosses that line from being Austin to Adam Cole, baby. Okay, now he's Adam Cole. Now I hate him. Now, okay, he crossed the line. He's back to being himself. Okay, you're a good dude. He's earned, it's that equity that we always talk about on this show. He's earned that equity to where he can actually be both. The Miz is the same way. RJ, I'm sure, you talked last week how you ran into you run into the Miz's dad before you ever run into the Miz. I'm sure the Miz would be one, like, just a cool dude. Hey, Miz, I love your work. Prefer you more as a heel, blah, blah, blah. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, can I get a picture? Hell yes, you can get a picture. Gives you the little whatever the hell you want to call this on the picture. MJF would not do that at this point because he has not built that equity. He's damn well on his way to doing it.
Right.
But it's very refreshing for me to be able to see that because it's very old school. Like, all right, you just ain't gonna break kayfabe. You just gonna be an asshat 24/7, 365.
Right. Jericho just recently, I don't remember whose podcast it was on, but he just recently told a story about how when he, in his younger days, when he was trying to get over as a heel character, he was on an elevator and a dad and a little boy got on the elevator and the dad started talking to him like, oh, hey, my son's a big fan of yours. Can we get a picture? Can we get an autograph? And Jericho just stood there and ignored him and just stared at the elevator door like a complete asshole. And he said the whole time he was thinking in his head, like, please get me off this elevator. This is so hard to do. And he walked out of the elevator and the dad yelled at him, like, you're such an asshole. I can't believe you wouldn't take a picture with my kid. And it was all to get the heel character over. And MJF is very much that.
Right. All right. Brian, anything else?
No, I mean, it's the sword of Damocles is hanging over our head here, so I think we need to get it out there and
let's go ahead and get to that. RJ, why don't you talk about it? Because you were the one that right off the bat had some very strong opinions about this on social media. So if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind you taking the ball on this.
I think my post was something along the lines of no. I will not support unprotected chair shots. No, never. I am not here for this.
Yes.
And as you know, Sean Spears got in the ring and hit Cody in the head, directly square in the head with a steel chair that after the show, the Young Bucks and Tony Khan all said it was gimmick. We don't exactly know what that means. I don't care how gimmicked it was. It was a steel chair. It was a solid steel chair to the head of a man who has a wife and a dog kid and
a dog kid.
Fur babies, whatever. I jumped off my couch, unbelievably angry. I'm not. That's the only thing that they've done that I am not in support of at all, not even a little bit. And I would also be saying that I do not support it, even if Cody hadn't bled. It has nothing to do with the blood. It has everything to do with the fact that it's 2019 and we have all this information about concussions and CTE, and stuff like that should not happen ever. I'm not here for it. I do not agree with it. It made me legitimately angry the moment it happened. I am still angry. Never, don't ever do that again.
So to recap,
Brian, real quick, RJ, what's my Twitter handle?
Rant mode on.
Now say the opposite of that. What's the
Rant
opposite of? There you go.
Yeah.
You're going off on that. I'm like, yep, there. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, RJ's first rant mode on.
He's been indoctrinated.
Yes,
A
Brian.
toast to you.
Yes. There's my Sprite. Brian, what's your take on it? I have a feeling all three of us in the room, and our little room here on Skype where we record this. I have a feeling that the temperature in the room's the same for all three of us. What say you? What else can you add to this?
I feel like it was a direction it didn't have to go in. I feel like it could have been done better if there was more communication, or if, I get that they're trying to position Shawn Spears as Cody's next challenge, or next, like, don't look past me, or don't, but there's other ways.
Nemesis.
Yeah, there's other ways to do it that are safer, or that, or that are heinous in another way, jumping from behind, but that sort of thing. But for, again, not having seen it, but I saw replays of it online, the fact that it was flushed to the head, the fact that there was blood afterwards, the fact that higher ups in AEW had to come on afterwards and do some damage control and acknowledge the severity of it. It's really the first misstep that I can see them having done. And I'm sure everybody feels bad about it. I know that probably Shawn wasn't going out there with the intention of, I'm going to bust him open, but
those two guys are friends.
But the results are what they are.
Yeah, it looked like the chair back caught him in the back of the head. So
yeah,
I don't know that could have been prevented.
All right, RJ did it a little bit. I got a small one, so I'm actually gonna officially do it. Rant mode on. This cannot happen. Period. End of story. We have seen over the past decade NFL legends killing themselves. Junior Seau was smart enough to shoot himself directly in the heart so his brain could be studied for CTE. Mick Foley, when he does his one-man shows, talks about CTE. NHL, NFL, baseball, WWE goes out of their way to impact test the shit out of everyone. And AEW does this. For me, I agree with you both completely. RJ, I'm not here for this either. Brian, this was in fact a catastrophic misstep. This cannot happen again. Ever. There are ways of doing impact to the head in professional wrestling that you can get away with. There are ways of rigging plenty of things to catch somebody in the head and make it look like it really screwed somebody up. We're in this generation where we know so much about concussions. We're also in this generation where we know so much more about special effects. Right. Come on. At the end of the day, RJ, kind of to paraphrase what you said, no, I am not here for this. I am not supporting this. I'll do you one bet. If this continues, no one will support this.
Right, I agree.
I will be truthfully honest. If I see it again, I'm done. I will go back to watching crappy ass WWE and New Japan and be happy about it. Because I do not want to see anyone's brains getting scrambled. I am more confident in seeing someone drop a pile driver than I am seeing someone take an unprotected chair shot to the head. It's not just trying to be edgy. It's backyard wrestling.
It's irresponsible.
It is very irresponsible.
It's backyard wrestling. It's a bunch of 16-year-old kids who think they can do it because they saw it on TV, lighting a piece of plywood on fire that's wrapped in barbed wire and throwing one of their buddies off of a ladder onto it. It's stupid. Rant mode off.
I feel so left out. I don't have anything to rant about right now.
Let me
stay tuned at the end of July when Brian will think of something to go off the rails about. But
Hey, Brian. How are the Cubs doing with Craig Kimbrell as their closer?
Well, he has one save and one opportunity so far. You have to give him save chances in order for that. When you lose 18-5 on national television, Craig Kimbrell is irrelevant. Moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along.
You tried. It didn't work.
I want to throw this in here. Outside of the real life ramifications of the chair shot, there are also storyline inside AEW professional wrestling implications to this too. For anybody that doesn't know, Shawn Spears went on Twitter immediately after it happened and posted a clip from Road to Double or Nothing, where they were talking about bringing Shawn Spears in. And Cody said that he thought he was a good hand. And we all know what that kind of means in wrestling. Like, the guy's not a star. He's a good hand. He's a good guy to have around. He's a good guy to put in the ring. And it was just a 4 or 5 second clip. And there was no caption, no nothing. All Shawn Spears posted was a 4-second clip of Cody saying he's a really good hand. So apparently going forward, that's why.
Okay, that ties a storyline together, but you don't need the chair shot.
Definitely not. Absolutely, they could have taken it a completely different way, and I wish they would have had him express his anger at Cody saying that in a much different way than they did. But that is the storyline of where we're going. That's what happened. That's why.
Even the Triple H sledgehammer to the face is more protected than that.
Oh,
don't get me wrong. Triple H sledgehammer to the face is about as protected as, a side headlock. It is very well protected. But it's still devastating looking. What the hell? Why didn't we go that route? No, we can't go that route. Anyway, let's talk Monday Night Raw. Yes, we will get there in just a moment. We're not here for unprotected chair shots. I am definitely here for some of this. RJ, last week, you and I both said this. Wow, Stomping Grounds didn't really suck. It was pretty good. Holy crap, Raw was awesome.
Yeah.
Raw was really, really good. Aside from the return of the club, Gallows, Anderson, AJ, there were some very good vignettes. I have to be honest, I did not have a problem with Maria Kanellis jumping on Mike Bennett's ass and rating him. I didn't have a problem with it if it means something moving forward for Mike Bennett. I will never call him Mike Kanellis.
See, I have a little bit of an issue with that because I was so happy to see them get some screen time. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
But I thought, at first I thought, why not just let, Seth and Mike go at it? Let's have a good 8-9 minute match. And if Maria truly is with child,
it's
legit. I didn't know that. So I thought, okay, just, tag them in and then have Becky chase her, and then she'll tag Mike in the corner, and then the guys can get back in. Why do we have to let it devolve into castigating, your manhood? And you're not the only one with the verbiage. So I vacillate on that a little bit. You can't stop me now. Yeah, I'm back.
Can you please speak at an 8th grade level, please?
I'll do my best. I have noticed, I think what you guys are getting at is I have noticed a change in the tenor of the last couple episodes of Raw since the announcement was made that Paul Heyman was going to be taking over as the executive producer of Raw. And I saw a little bit of your guys' reaction to this last week and how you hoped it didn't result in an on-air role. You hoped it was going to be more of a backstage, behind-the-scenes, guerrilla position kind of thing. And I'm the same way, because here's what I hope does not happen. Or here's what I hope does happen, actually. I want both Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff to take this 2-month period leading up to SummerSlam to talk with every single person on the roster. Let's sit down and have a chat. Let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about where you see your character in a year. Let's talk about where you see your character in 5 years. What ideas do you have for your creative? Because I think there might be a sense that, oh, well, they can't handle that. That we're just going to keep feeding them all their promos and we're going to script them to the nth degree, and because they can't handle that. How do you know they can't handle that? Have you asked? Have you tried? Have you sat down, for example, with Apollo Crews and asked him, hey, what do you think? I want to get some ideas from you. Where do you want to see your character? Where do you want it to go? Have you sat down with Finn Balor, who's mysteriously absent from TV lately, more than he's on TV, and asked him, that's what I hope is a result of all this, because I feel like if you're allowing their minds to cut loose, and if what we're seeing on Raw is what we're going to get a little bit more of, then I kind of like it, because you're starting to see people you haven't seen before used in ways you haven't seen before. The interplay between Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston doesn't happen 2 months ago. Because they were going to the bone.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Can I mention the one thing out of Raw that I loved more than anything? Because I thought it was shot differently. It's kind of like there was that one episode of CSI where Quentin Tarantino directed it. Had the guy buried alive in the plexiglass case, and everybody else was trying to find him. RG, you nod your head. Yes, you remember that one?
I kind of, yeah. You're ringing a little bit of a bell. My wife's pretty obsessed with that show. So.
Quentin Tarantino directed that, and you could tell because it looked different. Whole feel of the show was completely different. There was one segment that was shot backstage that I thought looked different than everything else, and that was that promo with Baron and Lacey, and I thought it was freaking awesome. I was like, wait a minute. There's something about this I like. It highlighted both of them. You had Lacey with her back to the camera, but you could see her reflection in the mirror as she was doing her makeup. She turned, and then she cut her part, but she wasn't just standing there, Hawk and Animal, blah, 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 tell him, Hawk. blah, 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 blah. Tell him, Paul. It wasn't any of that. Baron did his thing. Lacey turned, did her thing, cut. And it was like the fluidity of that. I was like, that's pretty badass. I like that. And it seemed very natural. It didn't seem forced. It didn't seem like somebody was reading it off of a teleprompter. I liked it. I'm here for that. I want to see more of that.
Something else I liked. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off, RG. I want to get this in before I forget about it, though. Did you notice the invasion that's been happening in the last 2 weeks?
NXT?
Nope.
No.
On Raw and SmackDown, there's some sort of an invasion going on.
What?
Because whenever you get backstage shots and people are walking down the hallways, if you're looking very closely, there's some characters back there.
Abigail.
And all of Bray's characters from Firefly Funhouse are starting to make little cameo appearances during these long backstage shots where people are walking to the ring and people are, talking and stuff like that.
Really? I've completely missed that.
2 weeks ago was my favorite one when Miz just kind of like stopped and he was like fixing his collar and Abigail just poked out from behind the wall.
There's an invasion going on, and that I hope that means what I think it means. I think that means that he's coming. Yeah, it creeped me out. I had to because I DVR'd on Mondays because I work, so I got home and I okay, backstage segment, I'm going to fast forward through it, but then I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? And I think it was, it might have been the pig with the, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, that's one of Bray's puppets. Oh my God. And I was, and then I started kind of like slow motioning it when I would be doing it. Yeah. They're there. I mean, they're easy to spot now that we've kind of clued you into them, but.
Yeah.
So I like all that. My bottom line with all this is I don't want, you guys said last week, Jesus, at 1995, because Toy Story is the #1 movie and Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman are in charge. I don't want ECW Redux. I don't want NWO Redux. I don't want any of that. I know you have to have some fresh ideas in those heads of yours.
I don't think any of that because I think wrestling fans are too freaking smart for it.
Yeah.
I think the only quote unquote redux I think we're gonna get is a Bullet Club redux, but it's gonna be Gallows, Anderson, AJ.
I don't have a problem with that.
For that, love the way they suckered Ricochet in. Thought that was bad as hell. Loved it. There's one more thing I want to mention that happened on Raw. I thought Raw was great, but the one thing that caught me off guard was like, wait, did that just happen? I have 2 words for you. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Corey Graves, yeah.
When Strowman takes Lashley through the LED board and pop, and explosions, and oh my God, that was awesome. Michael Cole and Renee Young are freaking out, and they lay back, and there's like 3-second pause, and then boom, Corey Graves drops the S-bomb, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Brave New World.
That is not something that we get ever in WWE. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. Some people will have a problem with it because they don't like foul language at all. I get that, and that's you. That's not me. I swear like crazy when I can get away with it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Trust me, you ever want to hear me swear, just go with me and Brian to play golf. I come up with new ways to swear when I'm not hitting the ball well, just like I did on Sunday. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah, trust me, Brian will swear too. It's amazing. It's actually very, very funny to see an intellectual like Brian swearing, and a lot of mother f's and sons of bees, and yeah. Oh,
That
RJ, Brian is a potty mouth on the golf course.
I am here for that. Let's go.
Brian is a potty mouth on the golf course, especially once especially once it goes a little sideways. And for him, it'll go sideways when he can't find the golf ball, and he's taking too long to find his golf ball. That's when it starts going sideways, and then the next shot, he's about 3 steps away from throwing a rant mode on size tirade. I mean, just skip temper tantrum. We're talking tirade.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which tirade is 1 step below hammer throwing one of your clubs. Yeah, so there we go. So
I want to make a suggestion to WWE real fast before we move on. Maybe you should store your fireworks somewhere else. Could that have gone on longer? It was awesome. But I mean, like, how long did the explosions need to happen? Like, it felt like 10 minutes.
I had no problem with it. To
I
me,
felt like it went on way too long.
I had no problem with it because
So after they go through after they go through the LED board, it sparks because it's got electricity flowing through it. It throws up all these sparks, and then they fall onto the ground. And now what's sparking?
The sparks.
The sparks, right. All the fireworks they stored back there.
Yes, like the sparkity spark sparking.
Like, the pyro makes sense when they go through the board. After that, they fell on the ground. What was exploding?
Yeah, okay, you got a point. You got a point. All right.
It was awesome. I loved the segment. I loved the camera angle they took from above it. I thought was really awesome. The whole segment was great. I just, just nitpicking. I'm nitpicking.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. Hey, we're about 50 minutes into the show. Want to thank you guys for watching Wrestling with Egos. I'm Patrick, joined as always by my boys RJ and Brian. You can hit us all up on Twitter. Brian's at bcreego15. RJ's at RJ Eman with 2 N's, and I'm at Rant Mode On. Don't forget email address, wrestlingwithegos@gmail.com, and our archive site on Google, bit.ly/withegos. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share all this wonderful wrestling-y goodness. You'll be better for it. Brian, I want to play a little catch-up with you before we get into the rest of the show. Last week, we talked what ifs. What if Owen Hart didn't die? What if Mick Foley never fell off the Hell in the Cell? What if Edge never broke his neck? What if Sting went to WWE in either the early to mid 90s or after the close of WCW? All that wonderful stuff. And RJ and I had some great conversation on that. I am still proud of the Mick Foley Hell in the Cell discussion. I thought that was awesome. Thank God he breaks. Because I was gonna ask him what if Paul Heyman actually had a budget. Thank God I had to go pee. That was why we had that second little transition. Brian, you want to add anything to what we said, or do you want to throw in a couple of what ifs of your own?
I have a few what ifs of my own. Admittedly, I spent a little bit of my vacation pondering this and just kind of writing some things down, so that when we were back together, I could throw a few out there. And I have 4 of them that I'm going to throw you guys' way, and I want to get your unvarnished opinions about all of them. Here's the first one. What if Vince McMahon in the 80s did not constantly push Hulk Hogan? What if he tried to develop some other guys?
He wouldn't
huh?
he wouldn't be a billionaire.
Nope.
I don't think that he would have been as successful doing that.
Nope. Hulk Hogan was the key. Hulk Hogan was lightning in a bottle, dude. Until then, you had wrestlers who were famous in wrestling only. Ric Flair, arguably the greatest of all time, up until the last 10 to 15 years, was famous only in wrestling circles. Hulk Hogan transcended the business, became a movie star, became a bigger-than-life superhero globally. Remember, he was a spokesman for the Presidential Council on Physical Fitness when Ronald Reagan was in office, when George Bush #1 was in office. He was that big. If he didn't push Hogan as much as he did, I've seen, for me, and I'm sorry to kind of jump all over you on this one, RJ.
No, it's okay.
It seems like a lot of our conversations go back to something that affects the Monday Night War or something that affects wrestling before the Monday Night War happened. If Vince McMahon didn't push Hulk Hogan to Jupiter like he did in the 80s, wrestling as it exists right here, right now in 2019 does not happen.
I agree. 100% I agree. I could not possibly agree more. I think, as much as I can't stand watching him wrestle, I think that everything ties back to Hogan. He was transcendent is the perfect word. He was an absolutely transcendent star that was, a lot of people like to say that nobody is bigger than wrestling. Hogan was bigger than wrestling. Maybe now nobody's bigger than wrestling. Hogan was bigger than wrestling. Hogan was wrestling for a really long time. People just loved him so much, they weren't going to accept anybody else.
Right. There was a famous quote, and I think I once heard Arn Anderson say it on some WWE documentary. I don't know what anything about professional wrestling, but I know who Hulk Hogan is. It's that marketable person outside of the business. And let's be honest, since Hulk Hogan, counting Hulk Hogan, there's only been 3 guys in the history of this business that you can market beyond the world of professional wrestling. Hogan, Rock, Cena. Those are the only 3 guys. No one else has been able to break that proverbial glass ceiling.
So basically what you guys are saying is, Vince was at the point where he felt he couldn't afford to have depth. He just like, I have to push all my chips to the center of the table with Hulk. And
that's not what I'm saying. He had the mother of all golden gooses.
Okay.
He had, it's like playing cards, and it's like playing, RJ, you deal poker. RJ is the dealer, and RJ keeps dealing me 4 aces. I got 4 aces every hand. You can't beat it. If I'm a boxer, you know how much I love boxing guys. If I got a straight right that I am guaranteed to hit in the first round, and if I hit it, I knock the dude out. What the shit do you think I'm gonna do? Pop! Every time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it was so not broke. Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, and the whole damn company were making hand over fist over hand over fist. It was a license to print money. It wasn't the fact that he didn't think he needed depth or he didn't want depth. He didn't need to develop anybody else, because it was, I'll develop this guy just long enough to make him a credible threat to Hogan.
Yep. Feed everybody to Hogan.
Feed everybody to Hogan. Feed Savage to Hogan. Feed DiBiase to Hogan. Feed Zeus to Hogan.
Freaking Andre.
Earthquake, Dino Bravo, Piper. Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid. I can keep going. King Kong Bundy, Orndorff, Undertaker, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Everybody was fodder for Hulk Hogan. Not because of Hogan's ego, because Vince McMahon knew Hulk Hogan equals ratings equals money. End of story.
Okay, then we'll check that one off. I'm checking it off.
I gotta humble brag a little bit. That was actually a good point. I'm kind of proud of myself on that one.
Okay.
Not trying to put myself over. I'm like, wow, that actually sounded good. Next.
My next what if has always been kind of a personal point of contention with me. On 3, who's Brian's favorite wrestler of all time?
The Rock.
Yeah. I often wonder what would happen. What if he never got the itch or never got permission or whatever you want to call it? What if he never got the green light to go to Hollywood? What if he
take it. I know where you're going.
What if he stayed around and, just plied his trade for longer than the 7 years he was actually, the 7 consecutive years that he was actually in the company proper?
Hey, RJ, real quick. Are you going to say what I think you're going to say?
Are you going to say what I think you're going to say? Because we both said it about different people last week. So maybe Brian should say it.
I think I know what you're both going to say.
Go ahead, Brian, say it.
There's no need to debate about who the GOAT is anymore.
Go on.
So let me say this then. Next.
Right.
Because I when I go back and I watch old Rock stuff, from 98 to like early 2000, like he had just, he's another license to print money. But then I remember when he came back for that angle with Hogan the second time, not the first one, not the one that led to the match in Toronto that we talked about briefly.
Set up WrestleMania 19 against Austin.
Right. Something was a bit off.
Yeah.
And I can't put my finger on it, but it wasn't quite as effortless as it was a couple of years prior. And that's one of my biggest regrets about his career is that, it almost seems like he's trying too hard or he's being force-fed stuff that he's not 100% bought into. And then even when he came back, as much as I loved it, when he came back and took the title off of Punk, for purely selfish reasons, I love that because I got to rub it in all my friends' faces when he won at Royal Rumble, and I walked around in kind to everybody in the room and said, "Told you so. Eat a fat one. Told you so. Rock won. Punk lost. Suck it." All that kind of stuff. Because
said suck it too.
Yeah, because people, one of the time-honored traditions at the Homestead here, when there's a wrestling pay-per-view, is somebody takes pot shots at The Rock to try and get a rise out of me. Even if The Rock has absolutely zilcho to do with the event that we're watching, because there's nothing going on, he's not going to be there, but somebody in here inevitably will take a shot at The Rock just to get a rise out of me.
And it's usually his friend Melanie.
Yeah, or, everybody's done it once or twice. I mean, Big Isaac's done it, Frank's done it, everybody's done it. Hell, I think even the Lovebird did it once or twice.
The only person that hasn't done it is Mama Llama. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, it's coming. I need to prepare myself for that. But I just wonder, I get that he's one of the most marketable people in the world right now and one of the most influential people in the world, needs a license to print money at whatever he does, and everything he touches turns to gold. And that's great. But for purely selfish reasons, I wish that it was more of a slam dunk, where he ranks in the pantheon of,
I agree. He's definitely one of the guys that got pulled away from the business way earlier than I would have liked. I agree.
I agree. We kind of put the bow on it by saying we're not talking about who the greatest of all time anymore because it is The Rock. To expound on that a little bit, in my opinion, The Rock was more charismatic, more marketable, more fan friendly. Than Hulk Hogan. And I'm not saying Hulk Hogan was not fan friendly. I'm saying The Rock was just that much more. He was generally speaking, The Rock, 80s Hogan, late 90s, 2000 Rock, same guy. I think just on the charisma level, The Rock was 1,000 times better. And that's what made, and also the simple fact, what did The Rock do during that run when he was becoming the face of WWE? What did he do that Hulk Hogan didn't do? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
It was heel.
Boom. And you know what? He got over as a heel. He got cheered as a heel. The fans forced his turn to face, much like they've forced his turn back to heel in Toronto at WrestleMania 18. But that was due in part to doing movies and also Hogan in Toronto. What the hell? That's like one town he's God in. But if Dwayne Johnson never kicks it to Hollywood, not even for the Scorpion, not even for, the Mummy 2, not even for the Scorpion King, if he just, does a movie here, does a movie there, kind of like how Cena did, but not just dive into it the way he did, we are not discussing it. It is a clear-cut, universal opinion that the greatest of all time is The Rock. Next!
I have two more. I'll start with the easier of the two first. What if WCW, in fact, was made a priority by Turner, even the Turner Company, even after Ted was forced out?
Doesn't matter.
I agree. I agree that it doesn't matter. That ship had sailed by then.
Ship had sailed by then. The company was already eating itself from the inside out.
Okay.
Not even financially. Storyline. Russo was one of those inevitable things in wrestling. Vince Russo would have still gone to WCW.
Huh.
We still would have had a Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Ugh.
Thank you. We still would have had all the things that we had with Russo running the show.
So that means we still would have had David Arquette as WCW champion?
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, props to David Arquette, but still.
Stop. Just stop. That's it. We still would have had David Arquette as world champion. Move on. Because it can't get any worse than that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. This is a priority. We want to make this a priority because it's been on our network for so long. Why the hell is David Arquette our world champion? Dun, dun, dun!
It's a great question.
Number 4.
Let's get our crack staff on that right now.
Number 4. Move on.
My last one might have an obvious answer, but I'm curious to see where you guys take this one.
I don't see how it could have been more obvious than the one you just asked.
What if the wrestling industry as a whole, going back to wherever you want to go back to, however far back you want to go, took the health of its performers more seriously?
Ooh.
Less dead wrestlers.
What'd you say, RJ?
There would be a lot less dead wrestlers.
Yes.
Because this is one of those things, this is one of the soft underbelly things of this endeavor that we love so much that I think we don't talk about it as much as we should. it tends to get marginalized. And I'm not going to rattle off the litany of names of people, but I'm sure they're all going through our heads right now. But I just wonder, like, what if they had made more of an effort, whatever that looks like. I'm not here to debate what it should look like or whatever, but just make more of an effort to keep safety and health and well-being front of mind.
Guys, I'm trying not to tear up on this because there was two guys that I loved that are on this list that we don't want to talk about. But if wrestling as a whole, all the way back to the 70s, took health seriously, Curt Hennig is still alive.
Yep.
Curt Hennig went into the Hall of Fame on his own, not being represented by his family. And I'm going to drop an F-bomb, and I'm sorry. Fucking Eddie Guerrero is still with us. You can even make the argument Owen Hart is still with us, because if they were serious about safety, they wouldn't have put Owen 100 feet in the air above the arena. That one still might have happened, but Eddie and Perfect are still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was a Eddie mark, and I was, holy crap, was I a Perfect mark. I loved everything about Curt Hennig. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And yeah, they'd both still be here. Benoit would still be here. Nancy would be alive. His son would be alive. That's my point.
Okay.
And I went from being sad to pissed off now.
Yeah.
The Benoit tragedy does not happen. Because he's not abusing pain pills. He's not abusing roids. And impact testing was happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
RJ,
you.
You got anything you want to add on that? Because I kind of just dove in on that. Do you want to add anything?
The industry is a much better place if going back is, I feel like the industry would be a much better thing if it's wonderful and we all love it, but I feel like the performers themselves would be in much better places than they are. There would be, like you said, a lot less sadness and mourning to go around, and the industry as a whole would be better.
Macho's probably alive. Liz is impure alive.
Macho's kind of crazy though. He might have found a way to. I don't know.
This is a good point. Liz is still alive.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure.
Well, thank you for indulging me on that. I just, I wanted to, add my what ifs to it. And I certainly didn't mean to make anybody emotional by it. So
no, stop.
Pull the emotion out, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before we ever started, when we were coming up with the ideas for this show. And we were just going to be raw. We were going to be candid. We were just going to be, when it was just me and you, Brian, hey, let's just go out there and talk and show how much we love about this. And then when we brought RJ on, RJ brought that same energy. And me being emotional about that, that's what this show is supposed to do. Because if I'm not emotional about this, do I really care?
Right.
I cried when Owen died. I cried when Eddie died. I cried when Perfect died. I was mortified when I found out what happened with Benoit. The true story about what happened with Chris Benoit. These are all senseless bullshit things that happened. I mean, yeah, granted, there are some people we still would have lost. We would have lost Piper. Piper died of cancer.
Right.
We would have still lost people, and it still would have sucked. But there are some that we lost, kind of like that unprotected chair shot, unnecessarily.
Agreed. Yep.
Let's go ahead and change the mood in the room. RJ,
cue the strobe light. Let's get all the people in here. Let's make it. Let's get some happiness up in here. Let's go.
Hey RJ, we got some splaining to do.
Yeah, I guess we do.
The teacher's here, and we kind of forgot to do homework last week.
Yeah, we didn't find any homework last week.
And we didn't do a new one this week. So, Professor Brian, we're sorry. Wait, give us the Brian face. Give us the Brian face. We're waiting for it.
This is Brian face 2.0 right here. This is a special. It's the 4th of July spectacular on Wrestling with Egos. So you're getting 2.0 right here.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see. 1 minute and an hour and 11 minutes in. Brian Face 2.0. I'm gonna have to make a little graphic there. Yes. Awesome.
But well, hold on a second though, because I remember what you said the homework was going to be the last time I was with you all. You said you were going to do Gargano and Ciampa versus the Revival.
Did. He then didn't. We didn't anymore after that.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I can't even with you people. Anyway.
All right, so RJ, how about some homework for next week? Keep in mind, next week it'll be Brian and RJ doing the show. I will be somewhere in the mountains in Virginia. Yes, the professor was away last week. Now the host is going to be away next week. Holy crap, pickles!
Really though, this is no different than any show you see where the summer. There's always somebody's not there. There's a guest host filling in. There's the 4th string guy on ESPN is filling in for whomever on Pardon the Interruption or.
You mean Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, that sort of thing. But we'll make it work. We'll make it do what it do, baby.
I have no doubt. So RJ, what will you and the professor be discussing next week right here on Wrestling with Ego?
Well, I know how Brian has recently grown fond of New Japan Professional Wrestling. I'm going to take a couple names that you know. Wrestle Kingdom 10. There is a match for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
You mean AJ and Nakamura?
I mean AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. The match everybody wanted to see a sequel of at WrestleMania, but that match disappointed. This one doesn't.
You've seen this one. You've seen this one, Brian. I made you watch this a few years ago.
Was that for the Intercontinental Championship or was that for the Heavyweight Championship?
Intercontinental Championship.
This one was on this is one of my submissions for the 10 matches we think you need to see, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, then I'll gladly watch that again because this match is baller.
About to say
hashtag baller.
Hashtag baller. No, this was this was very high on your list of the 10 matches that wrestling fans need to see before they die.
Amazing.
It is one of the matches you need to see before you die. So yeah, I'll watch that one with you just because that's just a kick-ass match.
I might watch it a few times. Probably watch it with my son, who's a huge Shinsuke fan.
Brian, did you make it far enough into last week's show to find out that we have officially given a nickname to the 13-year-old son of RJ?
I have not. Truth be told, I watched the first 18 or 19 minutes before my niece came out. And
RJ, hit it.
He's the villain in training. VIT.
Yes, we got the expression we were hoping for, RJ.
The villain in man.
wait, Brian, when you get to that point in the show, right after that, we discuss what kind of reaction you're going to give.
Yeah, yeah.
You may or may not have just,
that was the one.
yes, you may or may not have just nailed it.
The one where I split my forehead open on the table because my head hits the ground so fast. Okay.
Just like the villain in Training loves the name.
Oh, he does.
He does.
Okay, then that's wonderful.
Hell yes. I am all for that. Awesome. The villain in Training. Yes.
You were such a sweet child once upon a time, and then now you're just okay.
Yeah.
It's that teen on his age. That's the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Say no more.
See, he was a sweet child, and then Brian was probably Uncle Brian. Now that he's a teenager and he's learning the ways of villaindom, it's now Uncle Patrick. He's like, yeah, Brian's too much of a good guy, and I'm a heel. So yeah, I like Patrick now. Patrick's my boy. Man.
So this seems like a great time for us to segue into our bar talk discussion for this week, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the perfect entrance music for all of these men and women in all the different promotions that we hold so dear.
Exactly. We were talking about it while we were doing our what ifs from last week, and just talking about just great music, like music that, and it's not just, yeah, that's a cool theme. We are talking a wrestling theme that you would gladly listen to in your car as you're driving down the road. A good tune, not just a good wrestling thing. No, good tune, like a song that you just enjoy listening to. RJ, can I steal the opener? For me and RJ, we talked about it last week. Cody Rhodes' current theme song, King, which is by the band Downstate. Such a great tune. Great message behind it. Lyrically, it's awesome.
Yep.
And it's just this driving song. It works. It works if he's a heel. It works if he's a face. It's just one of the more perfect songs out there for a professional wrestler. I can't say anything more about it. We're not gonna be playing the tunes because I realized earlier today we kind of have a copyright strike against us. Yeah, or when we used to use Mean Street by Van Halen as the opener, yeah, we got dinged.
Huh.
Oops. Oops. Yeah, I know. So none of the songs we play, we're just gonna put some text down at the bottom to say, hey, yeah, listen to this song. So who wants to go next?
I'll actually go next, because when the way you just kind of set this up with a song you listen to in the car kind of thing.
Okay, here it comes.
Here it comes. No, I don't think you know what's coming. I don't think either one of you do. Well, Patrick, you should know what's coming, though, because you saw the footage this weekend when we were hanging out. There's a certain wrestler who's rebranding himself currently, but when he was in NXT, the glorious Bobby Roode has a song called Glorious Domination. And over the course of the last several years, my niece and nephew have discovered that Uncle Brian likes himself some of that entrance music, to the point where they even I don't know if it was, I remember, I know why, because I helped my niece with her Girl Scout cookie order. So for helping her ball out with the Girl Scout cookie orders the last 2 years, she brought over a gift for me. And it was a figurine of Bobby Roode. It's about yay tall. It's got its own little turntable. And when you push the button on the back, it plays Glorious Domination. Well, we were at the lake house this past week, and my sister-in-law's husband brought along his speaker system and Kindle to play some tunes, through the kitchen window. And apparently he had been looking for that one because he hears his kids singing it all the time, and he found it. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there in my chair, and I've got, my book that I'm reading, and I got my little Sailor Jerry next to me that I'm sipping, and all of a sudden I hear the piano strains. And I look up and I look over at him, and he's just sitting there laughing. He's like, I found it. So of course I was then obligated to get up off of my chair and do a little bit of it, and I look over and they're doing it with me. So then later on in the week, he played it again, and I shot video on my phone, 30 seconds worth of them perched on the edge of the couch in the living room of the place we were staying at, and they're both got their arms stretched to the sky.
It's awesome, Dan.
So I'm fulfilling my godfatherly duties by teaching them wrestling entrance themes. That would be my first submission. Well, yeah, I've also taught them the Too Sweet also.
That is the song that is the alarm that wakes me up for work every day.
Nice. It was until I annoyed the shit out of Mama Llama with it. She's like, you got to change it. You got to change it.
It's just really loud, like, glorious.
Yeah. Oh, my alarm's even worse now, but it's also on my list, so we'll get to it in a minute. RJ, next.
Edge, You Think You Know Me.
Metalingus by Alter. First off, I love Alter Bridge.
Yeah, and that song is, I cannot tell you how many times I have listened to it in my car. It's over the years, it's just so many. I took a road trip with some buddies, God, it's a decade ago now, and we made a CD back when those were still a thing, and
some of us still do make CDs.
It was all entrance music.
Nice.
Well, some of us don't live in 1996 anymore. So.
Oh.
No, I'm just not.
Boom, roasted.
It's got that song specifically, not necessarily even the song, but Edge's entrance music has one of the things that to me is very important as a wrestler's entrance music, and that's that "You Think You Know Me" at the beginning. It's got the glass breaks. It's got the "You Think You Know Me." It's got the gong. It's the beginning of that's so important to me as far as entrance music goes, and that's one of the best ones.
Right. Cody's is the same way. Wrestling has more than one royal family,
which is awesome.
Oh yeah, it is. I love that one. I love Alter Bridge. I have every album on my Google playlist. It's one of my favorite bands. Them, Shinedown, Disturbed, Seven Dust. That's their entire library is on my Google Play. For me, my next one doesn't play into that little rule of there's a little thing at the beginning that kind of announces, this is who it is. You Think You Know Me, the gong, anything like that. But we did mention him earlier, and I got a little misty-eyed about it. Mr. Perfect. That, in my opinion, is like, no pun intended, the perfect music for Mr. Perfect. It's Glorious Domination before Glorious Domination.
100%.
It's just so badass.
And I'll tell you, one of the coolest things they ever did with that music is when they remixed it for his son. I thought that was brilliant.
Yes. I thought the remix was awesome. I didn't like the way they remixed 2001: A Space Odyssey for Charlotte. I don't like Charlotte. Not even close. But the remix they did for Curtis Axel was awesome. Brian, you're up.
This one's gonna make you guys laugh. And I don't know if this is what the song is actually called, but I love D'Lo Brown's entrance music. What you gonna do about it? You know, just the way he'd walk out there.
Gotta move,
got
man.
the shoulders. You gotta move. And he's got the head shaking back and forth like this. It's just perfect. I mean, he was just a fun-loving guy.
It was.
Yeah. It fit the person perfectly.
D'Lo's music was cool. I'll give you that one. I wouldn't put it on my list, but his music was cool. Yeah.
It makes you move. It makes you move.
Yeah.
Like my next one is just one that makes you move. It's the Hardy Boys. You got to move when you hear his music. I don't necessarily love the song per se. Like, I don't know that I would put it on in my car, but it definitely deserves a mention, because when you hear that, everybody, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody, wrestling fan, non-wrestling fan, anybody ever hear that song and not at least be moving a little bit. That song just gets moving.
And something else, you talked, I think we've kind of addressed it as kind of one of those unwritten rules for a great wrestling thing. It should be recognizable instantly. Even if it doesn't have a preamble to it, like the gong, or if you smell, Hulk Hogan's Real American, Hulk Hogan, the first two chords, it's Hulk Hogan. You might be able to pick it off in one chord. Dirt, everybody's off. It's Hogan. That.
Except for that one time Big Show came out.
Oh my God.
When he was doing the stuff. Let me tell you something, Kurt Angle, dude.
But, and RJ, you were there, WrestleMania in Orlando. You get 2 drum beats into the Hardy Boys theme, and that place has erupted.
That looked like a religious experience.
I've ever been a part of, biggest pop I've ever heard. I've never heard a reaction like that in any facet of my life ever. That was unreal.
I mean, go back and look at it. Look what the New Day was doing when they came out. I mean, the New Day was doing it along with them.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'll totally go with you on the Hardys. My next one, because I am not a huge fan of the CFOs. I don't like the vast majority of their music. Be honest, I don't really, because to me, it's 30, 45 seconds of a song over and over and over.
A lot of it is.
A lot of it is. But there's one song they created that I think is the single baddest thing they ever did. And what makes it unique is it uses a freaking violin. Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura's original theme song is art.
That's so funny.
It is beautiful because it's flowy, it's calm, but it still kicks some ass. But you hear it, and you're about to catch a knee to the face. It's kind of like you hear Mark Henry's theme song, and you hear 3-6 Mafia go, and somebody go get their ass kicked. You hear the violin, and subsequently hear the audience singing along with it, and you're about to take a beating.
Absolutely, and I don't want to step on Brian's toes here, but specifically because of what you said, I have to jump in with my next one, and I swear on my list, my next one is Shinsuke Nakamura's remixed heel music.
I don't like it.
I love it. I think it is phenomenal, and the VIT can sing it in Japanese.
Nice. There is one thing I like about it that I think is really cool. The rewind, like the scratch rewind as he's going to the ropes to do the little Freddie Mercury Somebody to Love backwards bend.
I
recognizing what the hell that is, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, talk that one up. I think it's fantastic. I think the slight change just to the adding the words, and if you ever are bored at any point, and you want to go and YouTube the lyrics, there's a translated lyrics video. It's the perfect music for him.
It's just pissed off.
Yeah, and I've actually driven down the street blasting that song in Japanese in my car. I think it is unbelievable. I think it's so good.
K-pop is huge in this country now. Why not?
Right.
The Squishy Face is all about Squishy Face right now. She's got two things on her playlist: Shawn Mendes and Blackpink. She is all about those girls. Brian, since RJ jumped you in line, I'll give you two.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Because I've got one more.
I've still got four more, actually.
Then give me. I can probably come up with a second one.
Another one that was perfect for the guy, Metal, Kurt Angle's entrance music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You hit that, and you know who it is. Early on, not later on. Before they did all the "You Suck."
I got to disqualify it. You know why? The Patriot used it first. When Bret Hart was heel and they were doing the whole gang war thing, Del Wilkes was as the Patriot, had a brief run in WWE, and he used that music.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
I know about the Patriot and Del Wilkes and stuff, but I had no idea he used that music.
Go back and find it on WWE Network. He used that music.
Yeah, I'll have to go look at that.
I think it is a great tune, and as they used it for Angle, it really worked. But I personally would not put that on my list because it was rehashed.
Fine.
I think that see what I was gonna say before you mentioned that the Patriot used it first was that it's rare to me that music fits a guy as well as that music fits Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah, and the sad thing is Jim Johnson wrote it 4 or 5 years prior.
Right.
Makes it even more, more perfect. RJ, next. Because I'm trying to come up with a few more.
I guess I would be remiss if I didn't say, and you guys are gonna hate me. I know every word.
I'm not gonna hate you at all because that was next.
I know every word to John Cena's entrance music. I actually know every word to every song on the rap album he put out.
Of course you do.
I'm never gonna fault you for that. Hey, you know what? Lump them both in there. Both of John Cena's entrance musics. Basic Thugonomics, which I like Basic Thugonomics better than My Time Is Now, but both of those songs are great. And they're perfect for what he was doing. I mean, Cena has literally used the same music for almost 15 years.
Yep.
He's never changed. That is a testament to how good that song is.
Right, I agree.
That was actually the next one on my list. So no, I'm definitely not going to laugh at you for that one. So now I got to come up with another one because I came up with this one right before I let you go. Because I'm like, they're not going to say Cena. I got two more in the pocket. Damn you. We boo the crap out of him. We hate him. We hate him.
Don't say it. Don't make me tell VIT you said this.
What?
Go ahead.
No, who do you think I'm going to say?
Baron Corbin.
Yep.
Oh, he loves his music too. I have to hear that song all the time.
Hey, you want to know why I like it? 2 words for you. Bad Wolves. The band that covered Zombie, same lead singer.
Oh.
The guy singing Corbin's music, Tommy Vex, he's the lead singer of Bad Wolves. Phenomenal voice. Love his voice. The The music before the lyrics, hated it. But when they added the lyrics and they added Tommy Vex singing it, boom, love it.
It definitely gets stuck in my head whether I want it to or not. It makes me think of Corbin, and I just
sorry. No, I've got two more in my head, and I'm hoping neither one of you steal it.
Because I'm all about this guy right now too. I love it when they use the full version of Finn Balor's entrance music.
Yes.
Even before they do all that, before all the audience participation stuff, and when you're over at an event at my house, you have to endure me standing up and marking out for Finn Balor while he does. I do that with him. But all the times in NXT when he would get painted and he'd come out as Jack the Ripper, he'd come out with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he'd come out with all that stuff. Just that whole presentation, the whole theatricality of it, that it sends chills up my spine the way Taker's music used to. And well, still does, because when Taker came out Monday night, I did still get some chills, some goosebumps, which was, I was happy to see that. I'm like, okay, good. I'm still getting that kind of a feeling when he comes out. But for me, I'm a big time Finn Balor guy, so that full version of the Demon theme is top notch for me.
Agreed. RJ.
I don't know the name of the song. I think it's Guerrilla Warfare. God's current music, the Gorillas of Destiny's current music is baller.
Gorillas of Destiny, both their songs are. The first one I liked more because it's just like.
I like the new one more.
Just that beat behind it, I'm just like, man, that is just.
It's just watching Tama Tonga just like get to the ring to their music is just like, God, that music just bangs. It's good. I can't say enough good things. It's after Cody. I saved it. After Cody, it's probably my favorite music in the business right now.
Okay. So we talked about last week, our favorite current music is Cody's thing. I saved one, and you haven't mentioned it yet, and it's my favorite entrance music ever.
Joint the Clown.
Huh?
Joint the Clown.
That guy's music fitting it. Joint the Clown.
Batista's.
Ah.
That music is just gangster. There is nothing about that song from Saliva that you can complain about. It is the right amount of energy, anger, aggression. It's perfect for the wrestler, but as just this badass hard rock song, which I love me some hard rock, that's it. I walk for miles inside this pit of danger. Hell yeah.
Right after WrestleMania this year, Xavier Woods posted a video of him marking out when Batista came out to wrestle Triple H.
Yeah.
Because when they're doing GM Raw SmackDown versus Raw, him and Breeze are doing it, and Batista's been a point of contention throughout the whole thing. So Xavier's like master plan to get back in the swing of things is to employ Batista in some matches, and apparently Dave got wind of it. And so he tweeted at him, I'm glad to see you're using me to, on the video game, and much love and that sort of thing. So that was hilarious to see him mark out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that video was fantastic. I never think of that music. It's such a good song. And you are absolutely right. It's one of my favorites of all time. But my mind never goes there because I absolutely cannot stand Batista. But that is another rant for another day, and I'm going to control myself.
Report. All right.
You get one per show. That's the league rules, sir.
I get one, you get one. Hey, because you know why? You're not stealing my freaking gimmick from me, asshole. I'm gonna get territorial about my rant mode on. Don't make me get country angry. Do not make me get country angry.
Sir,
I will drop your crack ass, Cleveland, and I will beat your ass.
Sir, tone it down, sir.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I'll give you my last two. One's predictable.
The
The
Rock.
Rock. Yeah, it's just
It's got the beginning. If you smell.
yeah, And then the other one, I liked when Edge used the Sinister Urge by Rob Zombie. I'm way into that one too.
Yeah, Never Gonna Stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
To me that was like perfect for him.
You can even we mentioned Edge's other two musics, but we haven't mentioned the Brood's music. The Brood's music.
Geez. Yeah, that was just so good.
Ever. All right, RJ.
Just another reason to love him because he leveraged all the music to great effect. Everything he used was to a T.
Yes.
I have one more. I think that when Randy Orton changed to the slithery, vipery heel character that I loved so much, and he changed his music to the music that he still uses now, it was absolutely perfect. The Voices song is absolutely 100% perfect for Orton, and it is a amazing song.
Yeah, I can't remember the damn title of it, but it's by Rev Theory.
Voices.
Yeah, Voices. Yeah, Voices by Rev Theory. That is a great one. That served as a ringtone for me for quite a while as well. God, I had one more and I just lost it. What? No, wasn't that one? Oh,
Trish Stratus.
Crap. Goes back to my love of hard rock. Goes to what? RJ looks like he's like, stuff.
No.
Goes back to my love of hard rock, and it doesn't get any more OG hard rock than this original number. And keep in mind, they did 3 different songs for WWE. 2 of them for the same guy. And he uses them both still to this day, depending on what role he's in. But it's not either one of those. Line in the Sand by Motorhead, Evolution's theme song. I love that song.
Good song. That's a good tune.
There is nothing about. First off, I love Motorhead. If you ever want to hear a really cool cover, and this is not a very unrelated Wrestling with Egos conversation, I have a list of like what I feel are like the 10 greatest covers ever, and their cover of Sympathy for the Devil by the Stones is number 3 on my list. Motorhead covering that is damn good. And if you haven't listened to it, that is a Patrick recommendation. Easily. But yeah, Evolution's theme I always just thought it was cocky, it sounded cool, and it was just like, yeah, I like that one. You guys got any more? Because I'm done. I'm tapped out.
Done as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. So those are some great songs that we mentioned.
Yeah. Wow. I am very pleased the fact that we had more than just a couple. And I'm also very pleased that Brian didn't go with The Rock first.
I'm absolutely shocked.
I'm full of surprises.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Brian, bar talk for you and RJ next week. You got any ideas? Whoa, I almost dropped my...
Whoa, what are you doing over there, sir?
I'm excited over there.
Or do you want me to throw one out? Because I've got one. You're probably going to hate me for it, but you can hate me for it because I'm not going to be here.
I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, so let's hear it.
Got anything before the hostmeister decides to impart his general managerness?
I gave the homework. Go ahead.
All right, bar talk for you guys. Worst finishers ever.
Oh man. Okay, so
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, worst finishers ever. And yes, Judas Effect cannot be used because that's what we're going to consider a gold standard because that is the dumbest thing ever. No. So we're saying it now. We are starting the conversation with the Judas Effect. Dear sweet God, that thing sucks.
I actually Ring of Honor had a show, Best in the World, recently, and I went over. I hung with a bunch of buddies, and we watched it together. And I was the only one in the room that doesn't like that move.
Really?
Really, there were 8 of us. The whole rest of the group loves that move. I don't know. I don't understand it. They all thought I was nuts for hating on it.
All 3 of us just ripped the stew out of it.
I know. I don't know.
The hell is wrong with your friend, bro?
But we were watching Ring of Honor, to be fair. So I mean, that's the first thing that's wrong with me and my friends.
Whoa. Oh yeah, we talked about how Ring of Honor wasn't really that great, but hey, there are some good things about Ring of Honor.
Absolutely. I still watch it. I watch the TV show every week. I'm an Honor Club VIP. I absolutely. I watch everything they put out. It's just I watch WWE too, and it's I'm a wrestling fan. I enjoy it. It's just not always the best.
Who won the women's title match? I didn't even see the results.
I don't think there was one on Best in the World.
I thought at Best in the World it was Kelly and Mandy.
No, Best in the World there was a tag match. Kelly Klein and Jenny Rose against Mandy and Angelina Love.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was tag match.
All right, cool.
They did something that made me mad at the end of that show, but
what'd they do? Quit.
Matt Taven is their world champion, and Jeff Cobb went almost a year, maybe a little over a year, without getting pinned or made to submit or even look weak at all in Ring of Honor. He runs through everybody, and Taven just beat him in 10 minutes. And I don't.
So they fed Cobb to Taven to try and make Taven look like a credible world champion.
I mean, I understand it makes Taven look strong as the world champ, but he's having trouble carrying that company, I think, and I don't know.
Dude, here's my take on Matt Taven, and we'll go ahead and get out of here with this. How many different guys were leading the kingdom before they finally handed it to Matt Taven?
I know, everybody.
Let's see. Adam Cole, Mike Bennett.
Yeah, everybody that was in the whole group, the kingdom led it before Taven.
Right.
I think I even led it for a week back in February.
I remember that.
Jeremy Atlas did.
Yeah, Jeremy Atlas. There it is. Yeah.
Atlas.
Yeah.
And the myth, the legend.
Best wrestler alive.
Yeah. Hey, Mega Man, Tom McGee, Jeremy Atlas, same kind of level. They had that moment and then just disappeared. Kind of like Kaiser Soze. Because the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Well, yeah. That gives us some stuff to sink our teeth into for next week. Worst finishers ever. We will definitely be sinking our teeth into that. I'm gonna have to do some research because I'm actually having a hard time thinking of any right now.
Oh, I've got like 5 right off the top.
I'm sure you do because you want to make a list. Patrick's your man.
Of course, Patrick is the list master. Yes. So for the AEW poster boy, RJ, for our intellectual hero and purveyor of knowledge, Brian, I am everybody's favorite villain, Patrick. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, rant mode on for me on Twitter, RJ E-Man with 2 N's for the poster boy, and B Kriego 15 for our boy Brian, wrestlingwithegos@gmail.com. bit.ly/withegos is the archival site. Gentlemen, I thank you for an awesome show. You guys have fun next week when I will be absent doing the good work of the good Lord, probably terrorizing some poor mission school. God, pray for them children. Pray for them children, because I'm coming. I promise I'm going to be a good boy. I promise I'm going to be a good boy. Until then, for these two guys, for myself, for everybody else affiliated with the show, this has been Wrestling with Egos. Happy 4th of July. Wait, real quick, RJ, show off the decorations. Show off them decorations. He's got the bunting. He's got the American flag. And he's got the IWGP United States Championship.
He's got that 10 pounds of gold. Okay.
America! F yeah!
You guys said 4th of July spectacular. I went 4th of July spectacular.
Spec-freaking-tacular.
Somebody brought the mail on that one. So until next week, they will see you. I will see you in 2 weeks when we open up the massive can of worms that is the Montreal Screwjob. Guys, no homework assignment for next week's show. No bar talk, no nothing. Unless something happens, we do nothing but talk Screwjob.
Okay.
Until then, this has been Wrestling with Egos, and as always, that's our story. We're sticking to it, and the most stupid move of all time is the people's elbow.
It's an elbow, all right.